Mabuhay, Kamustika, welcome, how are you? This is Bob from Love Beyond the Sea. Will your church support you marrying a younger Filipina? An area of concern to many when marrying a woman from the Philippines or any different country is what others are going to think. One element of this for some of us is at church. Will they be shocked at what they see? Subscribe to Love Beyond the Sea, and I will cover many angles of a relationship with a Filipina. Get notifications for upcoming videos and keep those comments coming. Today, what would your church think? Are you concerned about that? From my mid-20s on, I let people in my church know I wanted a wife badly. To my surprise, I didn't feel like I was saying something that resonated with a lot of people. There were times I felt like I was not supposed to want to be married. On the one hand, you hear how this is what you should do, but it seems to be unspoken that it should happen by a certain time in your life, or maybe it isn't supposed to happen at all. I got many comments I thought were trying to make me feel better about being alone, but I wasn't looking for sympathy or ways to be happily single. I wanted to be a husband and have a wife. Maybe you will or have had a similar experience. Wanting a wife from overseas opens up you to immediate scrutiny of your motives by other people. And I think having a wife is so important that you may need to get used to politely disagreeing with friends, family, perhaps even friends from church. This should not prevent you from looking for a wife in the Philippines. People at church may have some of the same stereotypical ideas as anyone else because they're probably not used to actually knowing someone who, has undertaken the task of looking for love beyond the sea. Have you ever talked to a pastor or an elder at church about what they thought about finding a wife overseas? In these times, it is possible they are starting to hear of others doing this, and they are aware how times have changed here in America and in the West with the importance and purpose of marriage still being high. I wouldn't expect your pastor or your church to know about relationships with foreign women simply because of not seeing a lot of it. It was my pastor who broached the idea since it seemed we had explored about everything else, and I am thankful for that. It is also possible that you will be seen with a skeptical eye about marrying a younger Filipina. You will certainly stand out. I have found the people at my church cordial, and I think they genuinely like my wife, and why wouldn't they? As for leadership, normally there are a handful of elders in addition to the pastor, and they certainly won't all have the same beliefs about things. Some may actually think you made the wrong decision, too far away, can't get to know them fast enough. But I hope they wouldn't tell you about this. Maybe someone in the congregation will. I think there might be some jealousy. I don't think you need to be concerned about how you are perceived. However, in fact, I think the church is a good place to be with your new bride because you have the chance to prove that your marriage, is God's idea, and you have the whole world to look for a wife in. And you were or are determined to bring it to pass. I think this makes for a good testimony, too. You didn't just complain about how bad things are getting over here. You went out, did something about it. You went where you were wanted. That should be a lesson to others who wish they could do the same. If people at church or anywhere have some kind of bias against marrying a younger woman from another country, it shouldn't bother you much. You have the chance to be an example of someone who risked trying to find what he needed and wanted, and if you married a woman with character, they will be impressed with that too. Having a good-looking wife will get attention, but it's a chance to talk about the need for character in a wife if you are not just marrying her for a pretty face. No man should need to explain the desire for wanting to marry someone who is attractive to him. If I needed to, I would talk about the need for a wife, the biblical support of it, the benefits of a wife, and the importance to not give up trying to find one, even from another country. It's also a chance to show everyone by the way you treat her, how you feel about her, and for her to show that you are a normal couple like anyone else. That would send quite the message. Let people think what they want. I don't recommend avoiding places where there could be misunderstanding and jealousy, especially church, which should accept and understand your marriage. If they don't, you'll have the opportunity to explain to them why you looked for love beyond the sea.